Our country faces problems that require strong leadership. More than ever before, we need a president who will take charge of government. Jimmy Carter can deal with complicated issues. As president, he will reorganize our government and make it more efficient.
When I was elected governor, I went into office not as a politician, but as an engineer and a farmer and a businessman and a planner. We had 300 agencies and departments in the state government. We abolished 278 of them and set up a very simple economical structure of government that saved a lot of money, yes, but more importantly, it was so that people could understand it for a change and control it. With a new budgeting technique called zero-based budgeting, we eliminated all the old obsolescent programs, put into effect long-range goals and planning, and cut administrative costs more than 50%, and shifted that money and that service and that work toward giving better government services to our people.
As president, Jimmy Carter will tear down the walls of secrecy that surround our government.
We need a sunshine law in Washington to open up the deliberations of executive and legislative branches of government to the public, so that we can understand when decisions are made about our own lives, what went on behind those locked doors. There's no doubt in my mind that every lobbyist in Washington knows what goes on behind those locked doors when the Congress is passing a tax measure or spending our tax money. But I was governor of 5 million people and I didn't know, so we need a sunshine law to open up government so the people can understand it.
As president, Jimmy Carter will reform a tax system that cheats the average American.
The tax laws of this country are a disgrace to the human race. The surest income to be taxed is the income earned from manual labor. There are not any hidden tax loopholes for people who draw a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks, but there are a lot of tax loopholes for people who are rich and who have those lobbyists working in Washington full-time to retain their special privilege. The average family in this country that makes less than $10,000 a year actually pays a higher proportion of their income in taxes than the average family in this country that makes more than $1 million a year. That's disgraceful.
As president, Jimmy Carter will never allow our country to be threatened by economic blackmail.
I would make it clear to the Arab countries, in no uncertain terms, that if they ever again try to blackmail this nation, as they did in 1973, by declaring an embargo against us, that we would consider it instantly, not a military, but an economic declaration of war, and that we would respond in like terms and declare a total embargo against them, not ship them any food, no weapons, no spare parts for weapons, no oil drilling rigs, no oil pipe, no nothing. I think this would prevent their trying to bring this nation to its knees again with an oil embargo, and would ensure that we could continue to get shipments of oil to this country.
As president, Jimmy Carter will bring our welfare system under control.
We've now got 12 million people on welfare chronically. First of all, we need to separate that 10% of welfare recipients who can work completely out of the welfare program. Put them under the Labor Department, Education Department, teach them how to work, give them a job training, match them with a job and offer it to them. If they don't take it, when it's offered to them, I wouldn't pay them any more benefits. The other 90% can't work full-time. They ought to have a fairly uniform nationwide payment to meet the basic necessities of life for those who cannot work full-time. There ought to be a work incentive program to encourage them to work part-time if they can. We ought to remove the parts of the welfare law that force fathers to leave the home, and boil down those 100 programs to, I'd say, not more than 2 or 3, to eliminate the confusion, to reduce the waste, to get rid of the cheaters, and to let welfare workers, for a change, deal with people who really need their services and not just spend their time shuffling papers.
If you agree that our government must be more effective, do something about it. Vote for Jimmy Carter, a leader for a change.